A few years back, the FBI became aware of an online black market website called Silk Road, where users could buy and sell goods, including illegal drugs and weapons. Even murders for hire were discussed. The site was run by an individual known only as the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Inconceivable!
Welcome to Hey, It's a Great Life. Before we start, hit the like button. It's free and will help grow this channel. Here we go. Silk Road, accessed anonymously by users on the dark web, brought in approximately $1 billion in sales, according to investigators, with its shadowy founder making millions by taking a cut of each transaction. Silk Road was the Amazon of drug sites. When FBI agents got the case, they only knew the site was run by someone using the alias Dread Pirate Roberts. As a method to throw off law enforcement, you had that smokescreen of saying, hey, Dread Pirate Roberts may be one person, maybe 10 people. It would take multiple law enforcement agencies more than 2 years of following dead ends and false leads to unmask Dread Pirate Roberts as 29-year-old Ross Ulbricht. In 2008, Julia V. met Ross Ulbricht at Penn State and began dating. She was a freshman. He was a grad student in material science and engineering. In the summer of 2009, after getting his master's degree, Ross and Julia moved home to Austin. Both were eager to start their careers. Julia opened a photography studio. Ross followed a different kind of path, a path that soon consumed him. In early 2011, with a stash of homegrown hallucinogenic mushrooms, Ross launched Silk Road. Soon, Silk Road attracted buyers and sellers from around the world to his illegal drug marketplace. On the main page, it would give you all the different items that sort of pop up, that were featured items. In the summer of 2011, Homeland Security agents learned about packages containing small quantities of illegal drugs coming through the International Mail Hub at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. They started getting a little more brazen. We went from seeing like 2 or 3 packages a day to 30 packages a day to 50 packages a day. Within a few weeks, it's 100. Attempting to find the source of the contraband, agents showed up at a residence where one of the packages was headed to conduct a knock and talk. Here, they learned that the stuff is coming from a website named Silk Road. But it's not a .com, it's an Onion. The Onion router, or Tor, Onion meaning there's multiple layers to get to the center. There are multiple computers that one has to go through in order to reach that content, the center of the Onion. So how are they paying for things? With Bitcoin. Agents still didn't know who was behind the website, where the website was, didn't even know who was visiting the website. By the end of 2011, Silk Road was processing orders worth $500,000 a month, selling illegal drugs and other illicit goods and services. Some drug buyers and sellers were arrested as law enforcement redoubled their efforts to figure out the identity of the site's mastermind. The FBI saw murder for hire postings, hacking for hire postings, which was, hey, pay me 2 Bitcoin and I'll hack into your ex-wife or ex-husband's email account. It was totally anonymous, and you could never trace it back to the person who asked for it. Agents speculated about who the Dread Pirate Roberts was, guessing he was probably a normal kid that did something that he thought was really cool, and then it spiraled into something huge. The FBI had arrested folks in the past that were global phenomenons on the internet, and when you arrest them, you find that they are totally normal people. They've got day jobs, they've got families. Ross was the boss, and below Ross was, like the consigliere would be in a traditional organized crime family.
My name is Vincent Cocotti. I work as counsel for Mr. Blue Boyle.
Then he had his captains, his top moderators that would handle the business of the site day to day. And then below that, his soldiers, which were his low-level employees that didn't know too much, but were doing the cleanup duty. Early in the summer of 2013, after nearly a year of trying to crack the inner workings of the Silk Road website, agents noticed a coding error on the site. They were able to actually find vulnerabilities where they saw it actually leaking its IP address. The agents also found information and communications Dread Pirate Roberts believed would never be discovered. Agents could even see records of some of the Dread Pirate Roberts' own activities, who's logging in and who's logging out, who's using the administrative console, meaning who is actually operating the site. That led them to an internet cafe in San Francisco. The person that was signing in, the name was Frosty. In the spring of 2013, the FBI located one of Dread Pirate Roberts' deputies and got a Silk Road administrator to cooperate with them. If a person cooperates, the law enforcement agent can take over the account. You're able to assume the identity of that person. It's no different from being an undercover, in the kind of Donnie Brasco sense of the word, when you're at the table with mob bosses. Agents were determined to find the operator behind Dread Pirate Roberts, so they used the one tool we are all familiar with, Google. They came across postings by a user named Altoid. One was on a website that discussed magic mushrooms and other psychedelic type of drugs, and also one on the Bitcoin Talk forum. And what it appeared the user was doing was advertising the site, Silk Road. On the Bitcoin Talk forum, it had multiple postings, and in the final posting, the individual listed an email account, rossulbricht@gmail.com. On that blog post, he quickly changed his username to Frosty. In San Francisco, in July 2013, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers, who were not involved in a Silk Road investigation, intercepted 9 fake IDs coming into the U.S. from Canada. Agents were dispatched to the intended recipient's residence to investigate. And out comes this man who is pictured in the identification. They can see it's the same person. They ask what his name is, and he says, "My name is Ross Ulbricht." Soon after the visit about those fake IDs, Ross Ulbricht abruptly moved. By now, law enforcement agencies investigating Silk Road had several pieces of the puzzle. The FBI had found the server. The IRS had identified Ross Ulbricht's name in a personal email address, and Homeland Security had an undercover agent in direct contact with Dread Pirate Roberts. Agents then ran another search on Ross Ulbricht and found the newly filed Homeland Security report about those 9 fake IDs. An agent recalls, "I almost hit the roof. I was like, this is him! This is him!" I went running into my supervisor's office. Immediately we got on the phone with the Assistant United States Attorney. In an investigation, there is a pivotal moment. And in the Silk Road case, it came when an agent mentioned the word Frosty. Immediately, the U.S. Attorney's Office drafted a criminal complaint. The FBI got an arrest warrant, and the team headed to San Francisco to take down Ross Ulbricht. But to make their case, they needed to catch him with his fingers literally in the pie. They needed to get to his laptop before he could delete the evidence. As the surveillance team watched Ross's house, they suddenly saw him exit the premises. Tracking Ross's every move as he walked the streets, they observed him enter the Glen Park Library. Undercover FBI agents quickly took their places inside the library. They watch as Ross Ulbricht heads upstairs and is observed entering the science fiction section, where he sits down at a table there. The agents in the library can see Ross typing. At that moment, the order to execute the arrest is given. A surveillance agent walks over, picks up the laptop, walks it over to a computer tech, hands it to him. And as that happens, Ross Ulbricht lunges towards the laptop. And then, the investigative team placed Ross under arrest. Investigators found a treasure trove of evidence, fake identities, chats, even Ross's personal journal. Most damning, the computer's username was Frosty. Ross Ulbricht was charged with 7 counts, including narcotics trafficking, computer hacking, money laundering, and a kingpin statute, usually reserved for mafia dons and cartel leaders. After a 12-day trial and less than 4 hours of deliberations, the jury found Ross Ulbricht guilty on all counts. Ultimately, he received 2 life sentences plus 40 years, and the federal system does not allow parole. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think.